TV on News Radio Wham 1180. Next news at 12:30. Breaking news when it happens anytime. The Rush Limbaugh Show starts now on News Radio Wham 1180.
This is unbelievable now. This is just, this is straining credulity, isn't it? Haley McEnany has now tested positive for COVID-19. Still can't find a Democrat that's been infected. Well, I don't know, folks. I just, it's just, I don't believe in coincidence. But greetings and great to have you, Rush Limbaugh, at 800-282-2882. If you want to call into the program today, you want to send an email, it's lrushbo@eibnet.us. Also this afternoon, I set this up last week before all of this blew up over the weekend. So we're going to go ahead and do it. Conrad Black, who is a longtime friend of mine, one of the biggest advocates for Donald Trump in the world, is going to be with us at 2 o'clock this afternoon, the beginning of the third hour. He has an update to a book that he wrote 2 years ago, President Like No Other, Donald J. Trump and the Restoring of America. The paperback version is out. And Conrad's going to be with us in the third hour today to discuss his thoughts on Trump, the president, Trump, the man. He's known him for years. Been one of his number one advocates, has never wavered during anything. And it'll be great to get Conrad's take. Conrad's in Canada. He's a former publisher, media titan, real estate raconteur, and one of the most brilliant, in Mensa IQ terms, people that you will ever encounter. A dry wit. He had just a tremendous book some years ago now called The Flight of the Eagle, about the early days of the United States, a tribute to George Washington and some of the founders. Just a great title, a great book. And so he'll be with us, and I'm going to be fascinated to pepper him with questions about his take on what all is happening here. Because, folks, this is... What do we have here? We've got the president and first lady. We've got two senators on the Judiciary Committee, two Republican senators on the Judiciary Committee. Now, everybody, we got to cancel the hearings. We can't go forward. We got to delay it. They haven't made a big deal about Amy Coney Barrett. The Democrats haven't, other than the standard traditional opposition to any Republican nominee. But, folks, I have to tell you, this is... I've been looking for ways to describe how the fait accompli, confirmation of Amy Coney Barrett, it will undo decades of work these people have done to turn the Supreme Court into a 6-3 on balance. Conservative tilt is just, I can't describe for you how horrible that is to them. How they cannot permit that to happen, how they will not permit that to happen. I don't care how cavalierly they appear to be dealing with it. It is as unacceptable to them as Trump being elected president and then being reelected. And they will pull out every weapon they've got to stop Amy Coney Barrett being confirmed. And that's what we are in the middle of here. That's what this is all about. And there are, as far as they are concerned, as far as the left or Democrats concerned, there's some ancillary benefits to this. And that is all these Republicans being infected with COVID, which now allows the Democrats and the left, who are not religious, to start invoking biblical terms to explain what's happening, like God and the Bible are finally getting even with Trump, because Trump wouldn't pay attention to COVID. He wouldn't pay attention to the masks. He wouldn't go along with shutting down the country's economy. He wouldn't do it. And now God, who they don't even acknowledge exists, is now coming back to get Trump. And this is, Maureen Dowd had a column rooted in that belief. It is, it's maddening. These people are invoking things they don't even believe in order to spread their glee. They are happy about this. They can't contain their happiness. They're trying. They're trying to act like they're prayerful and all that, but they can't contain their glee over all of this. But I'm telling you, I, for one, you know me, I have been saying ever since the 90s and the Clintons that there's no such thing as coincidence in politics. It's not a new philosophical belief of mine. And I don't think there's a whole lot of coincidence going on here. But look, I'm sure you want to weigh in on this as well, and we will do that. We'll get to your calls at the regularly appointed time, which is nobody knows. We'll just get there when I happen to feel like starting. On the phones, Kaylee McEnany tests positive for coronavirus. She's asymptomatic. She's not feeling any symptoms. She announced it in a statement earlier today, posted to Twitter. She said that she had tested positive this morning, is experiencing no symptoms of the disease. Do you know that she has had, I'm not betraying any privacy here. Do you know that Kaylee McEnany has had a double mastectomy? And she did it because she has a genetic marker indicating that she's likely to have breast cancer in her life because of genetics and everything. So she had the double mastectomy as a precautionary, advance move to take that risk down. And so she's medically up to speed and aware of things. After testing negative consistently, including every day since Thursday, I tested positive for COVID-19 Monday morning while experiencing no symptoms. No reporters, producers, or members of the press are listed as close contacts by the White House medical unit. That's her way of saying if you came in contact with it, don't worry about it. Moreover, press is harping on this next one. Moreover, I definitively had no knowledge of Hope Hicks' diagnosis prior to holding the White House briefing on Thursday. Now, the press is harping on that because their regime right now is to just rip Trump and rip the administration for hiding the diagnosis. They think Trump tested positive on Thursday despite not announcing it until early Friday morning. They think Trump knew he had it, but he went ahead and did fundraisers, and he went ahead and came in contact with people, and he was irresponsible about it. And they found out Hope Hicks had it, didn't tell anybody for a while. Now, Kaylee's saying she didn't know that Hope Hicks had been diagnosed prior to the White House briefing is a way of saying had she known about Hope Hicks, she would have altered her behavior on Thursday and Friday. Hope Hicks experienced symptoms last Wednesday night, tested positive for the virus on Thursday morning. McEnany held a briefing with reporters on Thursday, which she conducted without wearing a mask as they gratuitously toss in, raising questions about when she knew that a colleague was sick. She's made it clear that she did not know that Hope Hicks had been diagnosed when she had. This is... The president did a drive-by rather than be maligned by the drive-bys. He got in his hermetically sealed SUV left the Walter Reed complex and drove around to say thanks to all the supporters that had been gathered outside Walter Reed. He wanted to show his appreciation for his supporters out in the street. The drive-by media immediately had a cow. The drive-by media was livid that they weren't taken along. They can't believe that the pool was not invited to go along. The president just doesn't leave the hospital to go out there in the SUV and drive around without the media knowing about it, they said. They also claimed that Trump, this is really bad behavior. This is Trump at his worst. This is Trump. He doesn't care. He's infecting the Secret Service inside his SUV. He's infecting anybody that he comes in contact with. It's irresponsible of Trump to do this. Despite saying that they were furious they weren't allowed to come along, which seems like it's a contradiction, but it's the media, and they're always furious at Trump for something. I read a really agitated piece. Well, I read a piece by a really agitated reporter. I read a piece that quoted a doctor, attending physician at Johns Hopkins, which allowed the media to give the statement even more credibility. And let's see. That doctor's a CNN contributor. Yeah, and I'm looking. Here it is. Great. Soundbite number 7. Is you talking about James Phillips? Yeah, now here is the soundbite that the drive-bys loved. It was on Today's Show today. Soundbite number 7. Savannah Guthrie talking to the attending physician, Dr. James Phillips, at Walter Reed. She said, Corey Lewandowski says those Secret Service agents volunteered for that duty to be with the president in his SUV. But in terms of public health, how likely is it that they could contract COVID having been in that sealed car with the president?
The reality is that this was a dangerous move. There is no medical benefit for this to have taken place. It violates CDC guidelines that come from the president's own administration. The reason why the tweets that I sent out have garnered so much attention is because I was being honest in the moment. It's the message that's sent to other people who are sick that it's okay to go out. We're seeing schools try to reopen, and we're seeing parents who have already sent their kids to school with disease. This is the wrong message to be sending. And the only way that somebody can volunteer for something like this and do it safely is through real informed consent. They have to know the real risks of getting into that vehicle. And my concern is that they didn't.
His concern is that they didn't. But does he know? They have to know the real... How would they not? They're not stupid idiots. And by the way, was the president wearing a mask? He was. Isn't that the end all to everything? If you're wearing a mask, that allows you to go do whatever you want to do. Isn't that what they've been telling us? You got to wear that mask. If you don't wear that mask, you can't go and you get the mask on, fine and dandy. Isn't that the impression they've left you with? So the president's wearing a mask. They're making a big deal, too, out of the fact that his SUV is hermetically sealed to guard against biological attacks or any kind of biohazard that might be launched as he's driving around Washington or wherever he happens to be, that nothing can get in. Therefore, what is in is trapped in there and can't get out. So here you have the president with COVID, wearing his mask, driving around. Got Secret Service people inside. One is driving, one's riding shotgun. There's some others in the back with the president, and the media is attempting to say that every one of those people has been put at grave risk in service to a president who doesn't care about them, who couldn't care less if they get sick. That's the message that they want to have conveyed. Mark Meadows addressed it all on Fox and Friends today. This is what he had to say about it.
Here's the interesting thing is, they're criticizing, well, he put his Secret Service agent at risk. Well, the Secret Service agent, how do we think that he got here? I mean, we came here in Marine One. The Secret Service agent that is with him has been with him. He's been with him in cars, and yet we took additional precautions with PPE and others to make sure that they were protected. But, you know, a number of folks are trying, detailees are right there with him, trying to make sure that he's protected each and every day.
Yeah, why didn't they raise the same question when the president was on that helicopter on the way to Walter Reed on Friday evening? Because Meadows makes a great point. He's in the helicopter, and that's sealed pretty tight as well. You've got the two pilots up front. You have Secret Service people in there. You've got the agent who's carrying the football. That's got the nuclear launch codes. It goes everywhere the president goes. He's in the back of the helicopter. Mark Meadows, and it looked like Dr. Gerard was there. I couldn't tell he was wearing a mask, but they're all wearing masks. Everybody was following mask mandates. And there were all kinds of people in that chopper. And when the president recorded his video, the diplomatic reception room, before walking out and getting on the chopper, yeah, that's a diplomatic reception room where that video was shot. There have to be somebody running the camera in there. I mean, there are people all over the White House coming in contact with the president, the first lady. So why focus on the drive-by? Why focus on the president getting in his SUV and driving around? When there were plenty of reasons or occasions you could have leveled the same complaint days earlier. Got to take a break. We'll be back. Stick with us.
He didn't start it, but he'll be happy to